Hi and welcome to DEPHEMEREMBER, your daily ephemera inspiration in December. Today it's day 9 and our prompt list says tea and envelope. So let's try to make a fun and easy junk journal ephemera out of some really simple supplies. This is a collaboration with 49 Dragonflies and we want to show you some really easy ways to make your own junk journal ephemera out of simple supplies that everyone has at home. So I've decided that I want to make an envelope that can hold a tea bag out of some book pages. So first of all, I've chosen a book page that is a little bit wider than this tea bag that I want to put inside later. Then I realized that this book page is a little bit flimsy and a little bit too short. So I've glued 2 more book pages to this first one. I've just folded the first one in half and then I glue the second and the third one on top, just to the middle of the first book page. Do you know? Does that make sense? So I have a really long strip of book pages and this gets really sturdy in the end. Now I can fold this into half like this. And then I thought I can just flip the other part like this. I've left a little space here so that it is easier to glue. And this part of the page is also really flimsy. So I thought I take a glue stick and then I just glue this here to the other side. This tea bag, of course, is a little bit thick, and when the envelope is too flimsy, then I have some problems because I'm afraid that that can tear or be destroyed later. So now I'm taking some bookbinders glue and I'm just gluing this first part that I've folded to the other part so that I get a little pocket. So you will see that in a second how that looks. Bookbinders glue is really good for this because it dries really fast and it stays there forever. Then I took the other part of this book page and folded it over the first part. Yeah, you can see what I'm doing here. And this shall be this little flip that every envelope has. I've just checked if this opening here is big enough. So I've left a little space here in between of the opening and this fold. And then I'm just folding this part of this flip back so that it's also a double layer of paper there. And that way it gets really sturdy. This thing I'm gluing just with my glue stick because, yeah, that will stay in place. It has nothing to hold, so it's okay to glue that with a glue stick, I think. And then I thought about a quote that you all know from Alice in Wonderland. I mean, when you think about tea, you perhaps also think about this quote, "It's always time for tea." And this gave me the idea to make a little collage out of a calendar. Here you can see that's a German calendar. And there are some numbers and some months. And I thought that fits really well to this "It's always tea time." I'm not writing this quote to my envelope, but I thought it could be a nice idea. Here I'm trying to cut the overlapping things here of my piece. And while I'm doing that, I show you the next letter for the giveaway. All the informations about the giveaway are down below in the description box, so please check that out if you want to enter this giveaway and want to join. And here I'm gluing some washi tape to this fold there on the flap. That has the reason that I accidentally cut into this fold when I cut the overlapping things from the calendar. So that's optional, but I think it looks really interesting and it makes the whole thing a little bit more sturdy as well. To bring this calendar a little bit more in the background, into the background, and also this letters from the book page, I used some white gesso and I'm layering this with some more scraps from this calendar so that I get a really interesting background for this little tea envelope. Jo. So of course, if you don't have a calendar, you can also use some magazine pages or newspaper scraps or whatever. Some Sudoku papers would also be, I think, really interesting for such an envelope, or yeah, any other kind of paper that you like would also work. So then I decided that I want to try to paint a a teacup. So I tried the most easiest way to do this, and I also tried to use really simple mediums for that. So first of all, I made this little sketch so that I can be sure that I get something that looks nearly like a cup of tea. And then I thought, what can I use to make this a little bit, yeah, more dimensional and beautiful? So I took my Stabilo oil pen. That's a water-soluble pen, and you can smear this around really easily with water, or what I will do here in a second with gesso. I really like this because you can make some kind of a sketch really easily and bring it to another dimension by smearing it around a little bit. So I'm taking some white gesso and a paintbrush, and I'm trying to go over my sketch line only a little bit and smear this black thingy from the pen into the middle of the cup. I'm doing this from the left to the right side to get something like a shadow to the left side of the cup, and then I'm taking some white gesso and a clean paintbrush and go from the right to the left side. So I thought about that the light comes from the right side, so the cup has to be a little bit darker on the left side and lighter on the right side. That's perhaps a little trick to think about, from where does the light comes in your imagination, so then you know where to put the darker parts and where to put the lighter parts. And as I said, the darker parts I only reached by smearing this black Stabilo oil pen around with the help of the brush and the gesso. That works really well, and it's a really fast thing as well. I know this is really abstract. Of course, if you are a watercolor expert, for example, you can also make this with watercolor and make it more detailed than I'm doing it here. But I wanted to have something that also fits to my background, and the background is black and white. This washi tape is this black, white, and silver, so I thought these colors would fit really well. And I tried to make the shadows in some areas a little bit more extreme so that I get this, yeah, some kind of three-dimensional look, the most that was possible for me here. So I have to say, I think this is the third or fourth cup that I painted in my life, so I'm not an expert in painting those things or these, what is this English word? In German we say Stillleben. So those things that are, like cups or dishes or whatever, or apples or this stuff. I'm not an expert in this, but I think if we try to make our own junk journal ephemera, we also have to try new things, and why not doing this? And I also want to show you my experiments and also the things that are perhaps not that professional or not that perfect. So yeah, everyone can do this, and the main thing is you have to be satisfied in the end and no one else. And I think I can live with this cup of tea. So yeah, let's go on. So I wanted to have something dimensional, and this prompt list, our DEPHEMEREMBER prompt list, says tea and envelope, and I thought I would like to have the most tea that's possible on this project. So I've just taken a real tea bag and I've just cut it, as you could see, cut this thingy a little bit smaller, and the plan is now to glue that to the cup so that it looks like this tea bag is inside of the cup. So I had to cut that a little bit smaller because, yeah, the tea bag was really big and the proportions were not so great, but that's no problem. You can just cut it like I've shown before, and then you can reach nearly every size that you want that's smaller than your original tea bag. I have glued that here with binder's glue as well. And now I'm gluing this label, even if I was not so happy with this brand on this red label. I wanted to cover that up. First of all, I thought I could use this little sentiment that I had, but then I realized that this was not big enough to cover all of this white writing of this brand that's on this tea bag label. So I thought I could glue this to a book page and make these single pieces of this sentiment a little bit bigger to cover that up on this label, but that worked also not so well, as you can see in a second. So perhaps you are new to this DEPHEMEREMBER Daily December series, then I would like to inform you that this is a collaboration with 49 Dragonflies, and she has also videos on her YouTube channel every day in December until December 25th. So please make sure that you also go to her channel and check out what she's doing. So every time when you see a new video on my channel, her video for the day is already online. The link is always down below in the description box so that you can check that out. So I've decided that I want to glue my sentiment directly to the cup. I think that looks really interesting. And then I took some red acrylic paint to cover this label. That also lets the label stay a label. I mean, yeah, do you know what I mean? I need this shape of this red thing to realize that it is a label. But it was now really empty since this brand has gone, so I decided to stamp the word tea and put it to my label. Yeah, it's a little bit big, I know, but yeah, I thought use what you have, and my letter stamps are that big, so I had to use them. I wanted to balance this red a little bit, so I took a paintbrush and some acrylic paint that I've watered down and splattered around a little bit. I think that looks really cute. And here we have the next letter for the giveaway. So please write that down. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, check out the info box. All the information about the giveaway are written down there. In the next step, I've taken my Stabilo oil pen again to bring some more shadows to my painting here. So I tried to shade this label and also this little sentiment on the cup. And then I wanted to have it a little bit more vintage. I thought it is really much black and white. So I decided to distress the edges of the envelope. And that was a point where I thought, okay, now I think I can be happy with it. This vintage photo distressing also catches the color of this paper that I have for these sentiment parts. I mean, there I used some tea-dyed paper, and now this brown is here again, and I think that looks really, really cool. And I've also shaded the tea bag itself. I used my Stabilo oil pen for that as well. I think that looks really cool. And now I have a little surprise for you, for everyone who is watching this video until this point. I have a little freebie for you. I made a printable of this tea envelope, so you can find the link for that freebie down below in the description box. Have very much fun with that, to print that out and play around and make your own junk journal ephemera. And I hope you like this idea. I hope we will see tomorrow. Stay creative, stay healthy. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.